What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the reviews of Married at First Sight, Season 14, Boston, Episode 6, you guys. The episode is titled Dark Side of the Honeymoon, you guys. So, I do apologize. I did mean last week to do Episode 5, and then I meant to do the 1 through 4 recap, but I didn't really, at the end of it, I just we'll just pick it up next week. So, here we are. So this is going to be Married at First Sight, you guys. So this, before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet, I need you guys to do me that solid favor. Stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking the video, subscribe to the channel, turning your notifications on, and sharing the video. And you guys, with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Married at First Sight, shall we? All right, you guys, so it is going to be day 5 of marriage for the couples. So we see all the couples. So we see the one that threw me off was Olajuwon and Katina, when he was like, oh, this is the first morning that I didn't go to the gym. I was like, so you go to the gym, come back to your wife and just hop in the bed with her and don't, that's nasty. Then we see Alyssa and Chris. So Chris is telling us that, him and Alyssa, they haven't really done much of anything since they've been there, right? But Alyssa, she's just trying to put it all on Chris. She's just putting, she's trying to put everything on him. I'm like, okay, but the cameras are recording you. Cool. So Noy and Steve, so we see what they're going to do for the day, right? So Noy and Steve, they're going to go to a waterfall. And then Olajuwon and Katina, they're going to go horseback riding. The one thing that annoyed me with Olajuwon and Katina was when Olajuwon's like, oh, I get to see how you ride a real horse. I was like, here we go with that dumb shit. I just hate that. I hate that. I really hate that. But hey, so let's go ahead and talk about the couples, right? So let's first start up with Lindsay and Mark, you guys. So Lindsay and Mark, they are moving forward after, the night that they had, right? So we see them and they sit down for breakfast. And I do like the fact that Mark, when they sat down for breakfast, he prayed, right? So then they start talking about religion, and, how many kids they want, right? So I'm gathering from what Lindsay was saying, it sounds like she doesn't want an odd number of kids, right? So it sounds like, maybe she doesn't want 3 kids, right? So maybe she'll do 2 or 4. I was like, okay, that's fine. And they were talking about religion, she wants to find something that'll be good for she and the family, right? And then, once the kids get old enough to decide if they want to even continue with that, that'll be their choice. And I like that. I do like that. So then later in the episode with Mark and Lindsay, we see Mark. So Mark has been getting phone calls from his mother figure, his landlord, right? Since they've been on this honeymoon, and she's evicted him, right? Now, when they said bed bugs, I was like, ugh, that's nasty. Bed bugs. Ew. Now, she said that the landlord knew he had cats, so I don't know what she would be troubled about that for, but the bed bugs, that ain't even really got nothing to do with her, right? That's on Mark to clean up that house if it got bed bugs. Ew. How do you have bed bugs? That means your place is nasty if you have bed bugs. But hey, so Lindsay, she's pissed off, right? And Lindsay tells him, like, hey, when we get back to Boston, just get your stuff, move in with me. But them bed bugs, they got to be taken care of. I was with her on that one. Them bed bugs gotta go. Nasty. No shade to you, Mark, but nasty. Not shading you. So then we move over to Katina and Olajuwon, right? With Katina and Olajuwon, I'm looking at this relationship, right? And I'm just wondering, how long is this relationship gonna last? Because I can see Katina and Olajuwon bumping heads, right? And the reason that I see a Katina and Olajuwon bumping heads is mostly because of Olajuwon, because Olajuwon gives off this persona, well, not persona. Olajuwon gives off this vibe that he is an alpha. Well, he doesn't even give it off. Olajuwon is an alpha male, right? So And I think we'll talk about that, right? So they went horseback riding, right? And I get why. I get this is something that he wanted to do, right? But once you saw that Katina was uncomfortable, there's a way you can do things, right? Katina was uncomfortable with being on that horse, and I got him wanting to get Katina out of her comfort zone, right? I definitely get that, right? But once you see that you're going to a point where she is completely uncomfortable and she's not feeling it, that's the point where you got to say, okay, let me dial it back a little bit, right? Let me reel this in. Let me make sure that she's good. Let me make sure that she's comfortable. But he didn't really do that, and she got pissed off at him, and rightfully so, right? So I didn't have an issue with her getting upset with him, but like I said, it's one thing to want to push your partner to do better or do something that they might not normally do, right? That's cool. But when you realize that your partner is completely uncomfortable with the situation, then you gotta take a back seat and be like, okay, my partner's uncomfortable with this. How do I fix the situation, which he didn't do. And I just had an issue with that. And I think that's, like I said, I think that's why they're gonna bump heads. He likes adventure and he doesn't want to change on that, right? And I'm not saying change up who you are, but you don't have to change who you are, but you have to kind of conform. And I don't even want to say the word conform. You gotta kind of know your partner's limits and boundaries. That's the ultimate thing. Know their limits and the boundaries in which you can push. And once you reach that limit, dial it back. That's all I gotta say. Dial it back. Child, y'all, the majority of my notes is really about Alyssa and Chris. So we're gonna move on and talk about Noi and Steve, you guys. Noi and Steve. So with Noi and Steve, it wasn't really much. We just saw them. They went to the waterfall, and I do like Noi and Steve's relationship. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I do like their relationship. I think it's a good one, right? So they're at the waterfall. So I take it to believe that maybe Noi doesn't know how to swim, right? Because she didn't know nothing about floating, and that's what he was teaching her, how to float. It was cute, and I liked it. Even when the fish bit his toe, right? It was cute, and they're cute. The thing that I can't really I can get past. I can even get past the fact that he's between jobs. I don't have an issue with that. But yeah, they're cute. Of the couples on this season, the couple that I like the most is Noi and Steve. I like Lindsay and Mark, but something with Lindsay and Mark, I just feel like maybe with Lindsay and Mark, I feel like Mark has mother issues, right? And I feel like the experts put him with a mother figure. I just really think that, right? But yeah, one much with Noi and Steve, and we're gonna move on. Oh God. Actually, let's go ahead and just talk about Jasmine and Michael real quick. So with Jasmine and Michael, I don't know how to feel about Jasmine and Michael. Like when I first saw them in the first episode, I liked Jasmine and Michael because I thought that they would be a good fit. And I do think that they'll be a good fit for each other. I just think what Jasmine needs to get out of her way, and because I think that's going to be one issue, is Jasmine is in her way, but also Michael is as well, right? Because they have a communication issue with each other, and they went by the waterfall as well, and they sat and they had a conversation. I think if they can work past the communication issue that they have with each other, I think they'll be fine. Because from what I'm seeing now, that literally is all that it is. It's just you guys don't know each other that well, and you're trying to get to know each other, and there's a lack of communication. So I just think that that's what it is. I do like them. So there are two couples that are like Michael and Jasmine and Noi and Steve. But yeah, it really wasn't much with them. This episode really centered around Alyssa and Chris. So let's talk about them. So, the experts. Mind you, remember I told you guys a few minutes ago that so far on this trip, they haven't done anything together, right? So the experts told the experts had to set up something for them to be around each other, and that was tennis. And even the way that she showed up to tennis with them flip flops on, I'm like, who goes to a tennis court with sandals on? Like, you can tell that she's not into this, right? So in my notes it says Alyssa is so fucking rude. And here's my issue with Alyssa, because Alyssa won't flat out say what the issue is with Chris. It's an attraction thing. There's nothing really wrong with it, but for her, it's just coming off very shallow, right? And then the thing with Alyssa is, girl, you're not that cute. So I don't know why she's making such a, in my personal opinion, Alyssa's not that cute, right? So I don't understand Alyssa whatsoever, right? So here's my thing with Alyssa, like, she's talking about the experience and the process, right? And she's talking about their, she's talking about Chris, but I'm like, and the reason why I say this, what I'm about to say is, you came on this show, you married a complete stranger, so obviously what you were doing previously wasn't working. So that's why you came on this damn show. Either you came on the show to get married, and you probably came on the show for a little bit of TV fame, right? Let's be real with it. You came on the show for a little bit of TV fame, right? So what did you expect? Now, they're talking, at one point, Chris and Alyssa talked about moving into the apartment, right? I get Alyssa's apprehension about moving into the apartment with someone that she technically doesn't know, right? But then she flips it, saying she wants this experience. She wants to, she wants all of this because she wants to be around her girls. Girl, what? Like, so you want to be around the other women and get the experience, but you don't want to be with your husband. That is the true experience. The true experience is marrying this complete stranger, seeing if you guys are actually compatible with each other. And if you guys are, you stay married. If not, you will separate, right? The experience wasn't to come on here and find a group of girlfriends that'll be lifelong friends. You came on here to look for a husband. So the girlfriend, so you came, okay. So yeah, she's talking about she feels robbed of the experience. You're not even trying. Like, at this point, you're literally not trying. The experts had to put something together for you and Chris to have an interaction with each other. Then she starts talking to the producers, and she pulls this whole Karen moment. Chris was over there doing this. Oh my God, look at him. He's moving his hands. His hand gestures are so aggressive. I was like, girl, he's swinging his hands, but he's aggressive. Karen, if you don't stop, like, she annoys me. So then we see Chris, right? So Chris, later in the episode, he calls his sister and she's like, how are things going? He's like, shit, things aren't going well because Alyssa doesn't want to have anything to do with me, right? And then you got the poor Karen. This is what annoyed me in this episode. I'm a good person. I'm a really good person. I'm a good person. She said that so many times. Next week, if she says good person, I'm gonna take a count of how many times she says that word that says that I'm a good person, and I'm gonna put it on the screen. So Alyssa is just playing in our faces and in the producers' faces, right? Because she's talking about how Chris has been so disrespectful to her. He's done this to her. I was like, really? I'm so glad and especially when she was talking to those producers, because the way she was talking to those producers, piss poor, right? If I'm portrayed in a negative light, it's gonna be trouble or something like that, right? I'm like, what are you gonna do, ma'am? I hate when people go on reality TV shows and they get so upset about the edit, right? You guys do realize that these producers can only edit what you give them. So you give them the footage, they edit it. Now, is it possible that they take scenes and splice them together? Entirely possible, right? But they only edit what you, the talent, give them. Stop with that bullshit. So then we see Katina, Elijah, and Michael and Jasmine, right? I forgot this, it was in my notes. They did a double date, right? So I like the fact that they're connected with each other, right? And they're all talking about they know why they were matched each other, right? I was like, do you really? Because to me, it just looks like we had 4 black people and we put the 4 Sorry. That's really what it looks like to me. That's really what it looked like to me. And I do love the fact that Jasmine, when Elijah and Katina were talking, especially about their date, I do love the fact that, Jasmine told Elijah basically what I said about, it's okay to get her out of her comfort zone, but you got to know what the limits are, right? Child, and let's move back over to god dang on Alyssa and Chris. Alyssa, so we see her. She went to the beach. She's with Jasmine and Katina, right? And then Chris, he was with Lindsay and Mark. Excuse me, I didn't mean to burp in your face. So Chris is talking to, Lindsay and Mark. He's telling Lindsay and Mark about this situation with him and Alyssa. How basically, since they've been here, she hasn't really given him a time of the day. She is just not, she's basically detached, right? And at one point they did mention, like, is it because she's not attracted to you, right? And then even Mark said to the producer, like, what did she expect? Like, this is a blind experiment. Exactly, what did you expect? They're not gonna get you someone who looks like Channing Tatum or a who else do the white girls like? Channing Tatum's, your Channing Tatum's, your Brad Pitt's, your George Clooney's, people of, I know I named some older people, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. They're not gonna pair you with someone who is just this, as the white women love to say, tall, dark, and handsome, which I don't understand what the dark is. Does it mean dark hair? I don't know. Hey, whatever. But they're not gonna, they could match you with that, but 9 times out of 10, they probably won't, right? So it was a gaslighting for me with Alyssa. So Alyssa, she's telling Katina and Jasmine that, I'm not blaming Chris, right? I'm like, but you had a whole ass temper tantrum in front of the producers. And you never said anything about yourself. It was all about Chris. Everything that you said was about him. He's this, he's that, he's da 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 da. What is that called? You're placing the blame on him for the way that you're acting, right? And then she tells them that, his family, when they, after they got married, his friends and his family told her things about him that just didn't really sit well with her. So Katina was like, but, why don't you just say, okay, they're telling me these things about him. Let me put that in my back pocket, right? And hold on to that. And if it comes to fruition, if it comes, if it comes to the watch, like, if I see those, what they're saying, be like, oh, okay, his family told me about that. Mental note, check, right? She's like, yeah, I get what you're saying. No, you don't. Again, like, I just want Alyssa to be honest about the fact that, and honestly, Chris is not a bad looking guy. Like, he's not. The issue, and let's be real, the issue that she has with Chris is the man got a stomach. Like, how shallow is that? Like, Alyssa can't tell me that that's not what the issue is. Girl, the issue is the fact that the man has a stomach. Girl, the man can go to the gym and work out and get a 6-pack if he wanted one. And like I said earlier, Alyssa is what? Not that damn cute. Like, Alyssa, go to hell, right? So then we see all the couples. This is their last night, and on their honeymoon, right? So they have dinner, and they talk about how many kids they want, if they want kids, right? And when Chris was talking about kids, because Chris said prior to him getting good in his life, he didn't want kids, and then you just see Alyssa just over there looking. I'm like, girl, get a glad. So then they talk about, the issues that they've had since they've been on the trip. Elijah talked, and so does Michael. I'm not going to go too deep into that, right? So then I think it was Noi who made mention to both Chris and to Alyssa. And Chris started talking, right? And Lindsay said something, and not Lindsay, but Alyssa said something, and Lindsay was like, I need some alcohol. I was like, amen, sister, I need some too, right? And then they start talking about the living arrangements, right? So Alyssa, She was like, okay, so you want to live in an apartment, and so do I. So I kind of come up with a solution for it, right? So what we can do is with the apartment, you can stay the first half, and then I come in the second half. That'll work. And Chris is like, why do we have to do that? She's like, because I want to get this experience. Again, the experience is you living with your husband, you being around your husband, you dating your husband, you getting to know your husband. Not you. Like, you should have went and found a sorority to join if you want a sisterhood, right? Because that's what you're trying to, that's at this point what you're looking for, since Chris is not checking all your boxes. Once again, what did I say earlier? Alyssa is what? Not that damn cute. I'm gonna keep saying that she ain't that damn cute. She thinks she's cute, but she's really not. And then the fact that her personality radiates, and it's radiating green and not light. Girl, go to hell, right? And then Chris was like, so why do we have to be like this dysfunctional, like a couple, like a couple that's going through a divorced family? That makes no sense. Like, and Chris is like, he's not gonna uproot his life, especially if you don't tell him. Because and at this point, Chris was just trying to get out of her. What is it, Alyssa? What do you want to do? Do you want to be in this in this relationship, in this marriage with me, or are you more focused on the other women? I don't want to talk about that right now. Like, I don't want to do that in front of the group. What? But you had a whole ass conversation with Jasmine and Katina about this situation, right? Like, again, it's the what? The gaslighting for me. She gaslit. She was gaslighting, and it was just really annoying my spirit. And I just really want to just reach for that TV screen and just grab that French braid and just wrap it around. Just grab it and just wrap it around her like, look her, you little dumbass. Oh God. And she keeps saying she's a good person. I'm a good person. I'm a good person. No, you're not. You're a fucked up individual. You're shallow. So, like I said, so then we later see them and they're having a conversation about themselves. I do love the fact that everybody else is standing up for Chris, right? I love that. I like that the other people are standing up for Chris. I just wish that they were like, especially like with Katina, because Katina was talking to Chris, right? I just wish that Katina would have called Alyssa out on the shit that she was saying, because you know that Alyssa is lying, right? Alyssa just, I wish she would come out and just say, you're fat. I don't like fat guys, which is not really fat, but I know that's what she thinks. I just wish she would just say what the fuck it is and stop dragging it along, because that's what Chris's issue is. She's dragging it along. And then when they had the conversation later on, she was like, I told you, Chris, that I didn't want to talk. You said you didn't want to talk in front of the other people. It's you and him. He's trying to figure out what you guys are going to do before you guys get back to Boston. Child, I saw somebody, I think it was Courtney and Eddie, because they showed up on my timeline, which I need to follow them. I need to subscribe to their channel. There's a petition to get Alyssa off this show. You guys do know that this show is pre-recorded, right? You guys do know that this show is pre-recorded, so they've already recorded this. And I mean, they could scrap her scenes, but she is fucking annoying. Now, I'm at the end of my notes, guys. My thing with Alyssa is she keeps saying she wants the experience, she wants to move into the apartment. You want the experience and you want to live in the apartment. You want to live in the apartment to be around the other ladies, right? That's what you want. You want this experience because you want to be on television. Like, stop playing with me. Because she kept saying, I had the opportunity to leave yesterday, but I didn't. I had the opportunity to leave yesterday, but I didn't. It's the two things that she kept saying in this episode that annoyed me was, I had the opportunity to leave, but I didn't. I'm a good person. If you had the opportunity to leave and you're so unhappy, why didn't you leave? Once again, I just pointed it out a few minutes ago. The reason why she hasn't left is because of the fact that Alyssa wants to be on television. Now, I don't know if Married at First Sight, I don't know if they get paid for this show. I'm not sure. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section. Do they get paid to be on Married at First Sight? because that's the question that I asked for this show. That's the question I'm gonna ask for this, and for I asked for Rated to Love. Like, do they get paid per episode, right? Because I know certain reality shows you get a stipend for doing the show, right? So I just wonder, do they get a stipend? And it's Lifetime, so I'm pretty positive they get some kind of a stipend. So that's really what it is. She wants to be on television. She wants, the little bit of notoriety, the little bit of fame she'll get from it. But I don't think Alyssa was expecting what she got, because you are completely unlikable. Like I see on social media, no one likes you. Very few people like you, from what I see, right? So yeah, that's what it's just giving for me. She's gaslighting it. She's gaslighting the fuck out of Chris and me. Number two, she's shallow as hell. Number three, she's on this for TV. And number four, you want to live in that apartment because you want to be around the other women. That's really what it is. Like, it's not that hard to tell. And like I just said, Chris is not fat. That's really what, like I said, that's what she has an issue with, is the fact that Chris has that stomach. Other than that, I mean, a man could go get liposuction, a tummy tuck. He could go get abs. There are a slew of other things he could do. He could go to the gym and work out. But Chris can fix his outside, right? Chris can fix that. You can fix that rancid inside that is your personality. You can't fix that. You can't fix that. But you guys, that is my review of Married at First Sight. Please let me know what you guys think about the episode in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notifications, you guys, so you guys are notified of when I drop anything else. Please share the video, you guys, and until the next one, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Remember, wash your hands. Please wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.